Good morning, students. Today we are going to see about the kinds of company meetings. So, actually we are in the end of the chapters now. We are in the 28th chapter, Company Secretary, and in this chapter we are going to see about the kinds of company meetings. So let us proceed, and this is the subdivision you can see. So company meetings are divided into three main categories. One is shareholders meeting, the second one is directors meeting, and the third one is special meeting. So shareholders meeting is again subdivided into statutory meeting, annual general meeting, extraordinary general meeting. And you can see that directors meeting is divided into board meeting and committee meeting. And the third category, that is the special meeting, is divided into class meeting and creditors meeting. So now we will see what is a meeting. First of all, we should know what is the meaning of a meeting. A meeting is a gathering of two or more people. See that? A meeting is a gathering of two or more people that has been convened for the purpose of achieving a common goal. So why do they convene a meeting? Is to achieve a common goal through verbal interaction. So that point has to be noted clearly. Verbal interaction means through talk or through speech or conversation among them, such as sharing information or reaching agreement. So why do they convey a meeting? Is to reach an agreement or to share some sort of information regarding the company form of organization. So now let us see the types of meeting. Shareholders meeting is already you know that it is divided into statutory meeting, annual general meeting, and extraordinary general meeting. Directors meeting is divided into board meeting and committee meeting, and special meeting is divided into first one is class meeting and the second one is creditors meeting. Now we will see what is the shareholders meeting. A shareholders meeting is nothing but the meeting held with the shareholders of the company, and this is called as the shareholders meeting. So all the shareholders will be given a notice of the meeting and they will be asked to assemble in a particular venue and at a particular time and date. So that type of meeting is called as shareholders meeting. The shareholders meeting can be classified as statutory meeting, annual general meeting, and extraordinary general meeting. So we have already seen in the previous slide itself that the statutory directors, shareholders meeting is divided into statutory meeting, annual general meeting, and extraordinary general meeting. Now let us see what is the statutory meeting and on what occasions we or the company conducts a statutory meeting. So statutory meeting is the first meeting of the members of a public company. So this we have already seen that, and you should be remembering. So statutory meeting is the first meeting of the members of a public company, and it is held only once in the lifetime of a public company, that limited by shares. So it will be held only once in the lifetime of the public company. And statutory means legal. So you also know the meaning of the word statutory. It's something which is implemented through act. So this meeting is totally based on law. Must be certified by at least two directors. So you have to keep these in mind. Statutory meeting is the first meeting according to the Companies Act. Every public company should hold a meeting of the shareholders within 6 months, but not less than or earlier than 1 month from the date of commencement of the business. And this is the first general meeting of the public company, and it is called as the statutory meeting. This meeting is conducted only once in the lifetime of the company, and a private company or a public company having no share capital need not conduct a statutory meeting. This is also to be noted. This is a very important point. A company which is a private company or a public company having no share capital need not conduct a statutory meeting. The company gives the circular to the shareholders before 21 days of the meeting. So this meeting must be held not less than 1 month but before 3 months of obtaining the certificate of commencement of the business. So you can just note down the points from from this slide. So, what is the purpose of conducting the statutory meeting? So, the main purpose is to win the confidence of the shareholders. So, that is the main purpose of conducting a statutory meeting, to provide latest informations and to discuss future plans of the company working, and to discuss statutory report, that is total number of shares issued, total receipts and total payments, cash received against shares allocated, and details of the shares allocated. All these will be discussed in the statutory meeting. Since this is the first and only one time meeting which is conducted, every detail about the commencement, before the commencement of the business, will be discussed in this meeting. So the next thing we are going to see is the annual general meeting. Every public company will hold annual general meeting of its members every year. So yearly once this meeting will be held. This meeting is to be called or held by the directors of the company. So who is going to held or hold this meeting is the directors. Mandatory for every type of company, or for that matter, mandatory means it is compulsory that every company should hold a annual general meeting. The first annual general meeting must be held within 18 months. Look to the time period there. So this you can take it as a 1 mark question also. Within 18 months from the date of its incorporation. Incorporation means registration of the company. The next meeting must be held once in every calendar year within 4 months after closing its financial year. So this is the important point that you have to keep regarding annual general meeting. So let me recall again. Every year a meeting is to be held to transact the ordinary business of the company. All ordinary transactions of the company will be dealt in this meeting. Such meeting is called as a annual general meeting, and company is bound to invite the first general meeting within 18 months from the date of its registration. Then the general meeting will be held only once in every year, and after every financial year, within completion of the one financial year, it has to be held within the 4 months. The difference between two general meetings should not be more than 15 months. That is also to be noted. And every annual general meeting shall be held during business hours, and on a day which is not a public holiday, and at the registered office of the company, or at some other important place within the town or village where the registered office is situated. So annual general meetings should be conducted by both private as well as public limited company. And in the previous meeting we saw that statutory meeting need not be conducted by a private company or a public company which is not having any share capital. But here all the companies should conduct annual general meeting every year. So now let us see the purpose of annual general meeting: to receive and consider the directors and auditors report. So that is the purpose of conducting the director's report, and the auditor's report will be discussed in the meeting. To sanction or declare the dividends, if any, recommended by the directors. To appoint or reappoint the directors. To appoint or reappoint the auditors and fix their remuneration. Remuneration is their package or the salary which is to be declared for the auditors. So these are the purposes of conducting an annual general meeting. So extraordinary, the third category is the extraordinary general meeting. Now let us see the definition. All general meetings other than annual general meeting and statutory meeting are known as extraordinary general meetings. This meeting is held on a special occasion, or it can say in the emergency situations when directors think that it is necessary. For example, at the plan of merger, amalgamation, etc. So occasion is, this meeting is held on the special occasion and in the emergency situations. So notice of the meeting, already you know that 21 days notice will be given before the meeting. The directors will send a notice of the meeting to all the members of the company at least 21 days before the meeting is held. So let me recall again. Both statutory meeting and annual general meetings are called ordinary meetings of the company. All other general meetings other than statutory and annual general meetings are called extraordinary general meetings. Are you clear with this? If any meeting conducted in between two annual general meetings to deal with some urgent or special or extraordinary nature of business, then it is called as extraordinary general meeting. So now let us see what is the next type of meeting, that is directors meeting, meeting of board of directors. So a board of directors generally must conduct a board meeting to make company's decision, frame the general policy of the company, direct its affairs, appoint company officers, and ensure that they carry out their duties and recommend to the shareholders regarding distribution of dividend not provided in the act. And usually directors may at any time summon a meeting of the directors. Board of directors will hold the responsibility for the overall success or failure of conducting the meeting. So since the administration of the company is lying in the hands of the board of directors, they should meet frequently for proper conduct of the business and to decide policy matters of the company. So this is the main purpose of conducting directors meeting, and this is again divided into board meetings and committee meetings. Now let us see what is a board meeting. Meetings of directors are called board meetings because they are an association of members, board members. So since the directors individually they are called as directors and collectively they are called as board of directors. So that is why this meeting is called as board meeting. And meeting of the directors provide a platform to discuss the business and take formal decision and quick decision and timely decision. First meeting of the directors should be convened within 30 days from the date of incorporation of the company. Incorporation is again, I told you, registration. So, first meeting of the directors should be conveyed or started within 30 days from the date of registration of the company. Now let us see what is the company meeting. So this also committee meeting, this also comes under the category of directors meeting. Every listed company and every other public company having a paid up share capital of 10 crore is required to have audit committee. This committee should meet at least 4 times in a year, quarterly, that is 4 times in a year. In case of other companies, the board of directors shall nominate a director to play the role of audit committee, which is functioning as a vigil mechanism. What do you mean by vigil mechanism? They will be alert what is going on inside the company and what are the working or proceedings or how the accounts are maintained. Everything will be audit or kept vigil by this audit committee, and these members are called as committee members, and they will be conveying a meeting once in 4 years, 4 times in a year, and this meeting is called as committee meetings. So now let us move on to the next category of meeting, that is special meeting. For any special situation, when the meeting is arranged by the company, it is called as a special meetings. And the type of special meetings are as follows. One is class meeting and the second one is creditors meeting. Now let us see what is a class meeting. The company has different kinds of shares. When the meeting is arranged by any one kind of shareholders, it is called as a class meeting. So there are two types of shareholders, you already know. One is preference shareholders and the other one is equity shareholders. When the meeting is held for separate type of shareholders, it is called as a class meeting. So meetings which are held by a particular class of share or debenture holders, example preference shareholders or debenture holders, it is known as a class meeting. The debenture holders of a particular class conduct these meetings, and these meetings are held according to the rules and regulations laid down by the trust deed or debenture bond from time to time, where the interest of the debenture holders play vital role at the time of reorganization, reconstruction, amalgamation or winding up of the company. Winding up means just liquidation of the company. So meeting of the creditors, next one is the meeting of the creditors. The directors or their appointed lower can invite this type of meeting, and moreover this type of meeting may be arranged by the order of the court if necessary, or to reconstruct or to dissolve or to and any amalgamation of the company to preserve the rights of the creditors. This type of meeting is invited by their proper authoritative person. The creditors who will be present in the meeting or the presence of 3/4 credit holders of the total credit can take the decision, and the court will give the instruction on the basis of this decision, and the creditors are bounded to abide by the decision. Abide means follow the decision. So strictly speaking, let me sum up what is a creditors meeting. So these are not meetings of the company. So unlike the meetings of the company, there arise situation in which a company may wish to arrive at a consequence with the creditors, to avoid any crisis or to avoid compromise or to introduce any new proposals. So in that situation, creditors meeting is arranged, and usually creditors meeting are convened by the order of the court. Are you clear with this? Yes. Now let us see, when does a notice of a meeting is given. So the directors will send a notice of the meeting to all the members of the company at least 21 days before the meeting, and also send a company of statutory report to the shareholders. So this is the procedure they have to follow after conducting a company meeting. So now let us see what we have seen. What are the subdivisions we have seen today? We have seen what is the meeting, what are the different kinds of meeting held by shareholders, then meetings of directors and special meetings. And we have also seen the subdivisions of all these meetings. Hope you would have understood the concept. Thank you, students.